Welcome everyone to the PACIO weekly contributor meeting. Today is June 4th. And today it's very good to have you all here. I look forward to our discussion. Today on our agenda, we have our leadership updates and the subgroup updates. And follow that, and the Connect song, CMS Connect song is just a little bit um, more than a month away. So the team has been working very hard on the Connect Zone planning, and we'll hear from James and Wuba about the Connect Zone planning. Without further ado, I will pass it to Dave for the leadership update.
Thank you, Londa. Let me share my screen. All right. Um, use cases and timelines. Timelines have not changed. The gray line continues to march to the right. We are in STU2 for advanced directives preparing for ballot. We're looking to go into the September ballot for that. Personal functioning engagement STU2, we are in the publication process. Transitions of care. We have just, finished the ballot, and we are now in starting ballot reconciliation and triaging the tickets. And standardized medication profile is done. So, um, oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. So we got a number of upcoming conferences. The next one is the HL7 WED conference. I'm talking to Linnell James to finalize the content for that. That's July 8th and 9th. Then we have the CMS Connectathon, which we'll be talking about a lot later on. That's the 15th through the 17th. It is free and is virtual, and registration is open until June 30th. So please feel free to register for that if you're interested in attending. Um, we also are continuing our Connectathon planning tomorrow morning at during our tech team call, 10 to 11 Eastern time. Then there's um, two more conferences in October where our abstracts are approved and approved. And again, folks are from the community are attending those and presenting on our behalf. So that's great. So many thanks there. This Connectathon is, as I mentioned, is free, and you can get access to it through the link there to register. There's the agenda. It's a 3-day event. Our big day is day 2. We'll be testing and demos, and then we'll do a quick highlight presentation on day 3. CMS will be doing a bunch of presentations on day 1. So in the timeline, we are looking to freeze the sample data tomorrow, and then that hopefully that'll give folks a chance to test and try things out and look at the sample data to see if there's anything we've missed. We want to try to freeze that sample data June 19th, and then we want to have 2 dry runs on June 26th and July 10th as we prepare for the Connectathon testing on July 16th. And that's pretty much it. Any questions? All right, I will hand it back to you, Linda.
Thank you very much, Dave, for providing the leadership updates. So next section of our agenda is the subgroup updates. First, I will have Jamar to provide the PFE subgroup update.
All right, thanks, Yolanda. So in the PFE meeting today, we looked at device classification systems, and what we did was take examples of commonly used equipment in personal function and engagement, and we looked at these different systems: SNOMED, ICHI, that's associated with the World Health Organization, and HCPCS. And we looked at all of these and just looked and saw what would work for us as far as specificity in getting to know some of these classification systems a little bit better and discussing pros and cons. So that's what we did in today's PFE meeting. As you all know, we have been working on device profiles for ordering and reimbursement. So this is really important to us that we can find a coding system and really narrow down a coding system that we can use with those. So in the upcoming meetings, we have some feedback that we got from the community about different coding classification systems that we can look at. So we'll be looking at those. and also provide sample data for the Connectathon or provide feedback for that sample data, excuse me. Any questions? All right, that's it for me, Yolanda. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jamar, for providing the PFE subgroup updates. And I missed today's meeting, and I will watch the recording to catch up with you guys. All right. Next,
Brian,
go ahead.
Brian, do you want to give an update on the IG?
Right.
Oh, hey, yes, just a really quick announcement. So, in parallel to working on developing new future content for STU3, I've been working in the background on the publication process for STU2. You'll remember from last week's weekly meeting, we had kind of an open question about, one of our ballot comments dealing with the category tag profile. Now that we've gotten that resolved, I have uh, presented to the sponsoring work group, Patient Care, at last week's weekly meeting, and told them that we, would like to proceed with publication. I've taken all of the changes from ballot reconciliation for STU2, merged them into the master branch, which basically just means it is now available for public viewing on our CI continuous integration build, which I can link in the chat in just a minute. So all those changes are now viewable by anyone. At this point, the sponsoring work group will have a week to review, and next Monday, June 9th, they will hold a vote on whether to continue with STU2 publication. So good news, we reached an important milestone there, and we are well on our way to STU2 publication. So thank you to everyone for all of your input. As Dave always says, we could not do this without you.
Yeah, that's a big step forward for the PFE STU2 IG. Congratulations. Great work. All right. If there's no other questions, and we'll have James Patterson to provide the TOC subgroup update.
Sorry, we were just figuring out how to unmute here. So the quick update is that we're continuing to push forward on the IG ballot reconciliation process. We have the target for our current work sprint to close out all of the kind of low-hanging fruit ballot or comments that are associated with the ballot. So we'll be closing those out here shortly, and then we'll be handling some of the more meaty ones in the following weeks as we try and balance that with the Connectathon work. The other efforts we've been pushing forward on are the behavioral health and the patient and caregiver work groups. We do have some feedback from the behavioral health folks to address the non-Dell elements. So those are moving forward. That is the primary goal of our July meeting, is to try and close that out. But we need more participation in that yet. So we're still trying to find more participants and get our previous participants to help out with that. For the patient and caregiver side, we do have our kickoff meeting coming up next week. We're doing all of our planning currently to make sure that we have everything set for those folks as we go through. We're planning for a 6-month effort to, or at most, a 6-month effort to have them work through their role group, as we call the different folks that participate, to come up with the most important data elements for them from the Dell, and also address the non-Dell elements. And then lastly, of course, we've been working on a lot of the Connectathon effort, helping to figure out the right structure and things for the transitions of care and during our Connectathon scenes. So I think we'll talk a little bit more about that in a later section. So I'll just leave that as the update for today.
Great. Thank you, James. Any question for the TOC updates? If not, let's proceed to the ADI subgroup updates. And Maria cannot make today's meeting. We have our tech lead, May Terry, to provide the updates for the ADI subgroup.
Okay, thanks a lot, Yolanda. So for the advanced directives on several fronts, we are proceeding nicely with the Connectathon that is coming up for CMS in mid-July. We do have our story and persona and already some of the planning for the creation of portable medical orders, mental health advanced directives, and patient-authored advanced directives to be created by my directives, hopefully by June 19th for initial testing. On the implementation guide front, we are also working diligently towards the September ballot with some key summary changes that had been done from this environmental scan that Maria had done very well, and that would include the major buckets that have things like decisional capacity, the representation of CPR orders, nutrition and hydration orders, the handling of signatures from both providers as well as patients and their surrogates, and the minimal source form, because we recognize that there are implementers as we more widely adopt this that may not necessarily have that capability of having structured and coded data to process. So what would be that minimal set? And finally, since the first release of STU1, some of the additional scenarios that we have been testing in past Connectathons that includes update and revoking advanced directives. So it's quite a list that we have going towards a STU2 ballot. And I think that is the update.
Great. Thank you, May, for the ADI subgroup updates. I missed the first welcome section to the meeting, and I saw a lot of people are here. Welcome and welcome back, folks. And also next, we will have James and Buba to talk about the Connexon planning and pass it to you. James and Buba.
All right, you're muted. All right, we switched our setup around so that I show up on camera and everything. Uba, did you have anything to start with, or do you want me to kind of kick off?
I don't have anything right now. I'm just sorry. Give me a minute. My audio is being really weird. I have to switch.
Okay, I'll kick off then. I just wanted to give update and let folks know that while we have most of our scenarios frozen, we have been working with actual meds to get into deeper dive on the med reconciliation. They're really excited about the prospect of helping to structure the story a little bit more as far as that medication reconciliation goes, to kind of showcase what really can happen when medication reconciliation is used properly and how that will happen. So we've kind of turned over the reins a little bit within the confines of what the current storyline is, to help articulate and kind of create the right set of med lists. Again, kind of bound by what medication is necessary for the scene, but they have the opportunity to add some additional medications that should be reconciled out and kind of highlight different things in different points. They'll be focused on kind of working to show different kind of use cases of, oh, we caught, if a medication was on IV and didn't get restarted as an oral after the fact, they highlight things like that and different one or two different use cases that they have in mind that they, I believe, see in their actual daily practice on a routine basis. So it's kind of an exciting update, and we get to, really lean in on the SMP work and how that can help, especially during transitions of care. Does anybody have any questions or comments about how we're moving forward with the medication reconciliation? I guess the only other real update that we have is that we're starting to really lean in on what is going to be populated into the transition of care composition. That's one of the real big focuses of this one of the tracks, the TOC track, not the ADI one in particular. As we move forward, making sure that the discharge summaries are, of course, one of the key things that are going to be produced during the transition of care. But the bundle includes a lot of other capabilities to include different data elements or different results and things like that during the transition of care. So we're working on determining the correct things to bundle together to be passed along in the transition of care bundle or composition, so that we can make sure we capture everything properly and move forward with that. So I think we'll probably share that back out to folks for your input also as we kind of move forward. Let's see.
I'm just sharing the screen about the Google Doc the team created to share with everyone for comments, and also put in a chat window so people can see what James has been talking about. This is the whole medication list and extra mass, and they have their medical officer to go through the list of the medication and to think about what really make the clinical sense for the whole story, and if there anything they will contribute to this sample data. And I know lots of community member comments on the whole thing, at their own concerns, and this is how we ship the sample data and the whole storyline. And I know probably many of the people don't go to the Thursday meeting, so we are just want to take this opportunity to share the work the whole community has been doing to prepare for the CMS Connect song. Sorry for the segue, but
If
James,
Yolanda,
yeah,
you don't mind, if you could go over to the number 3 tab.
sure.
If you kind of go down a little bit until you start hitting things in column L, should be saying that it'll be included in the TOC summary. You can just scroll down a little bit more, and column L is visible, but you can just scroll down a little bit until we get some stuff in column L.
Okay.
There we go. So the orange cells over on column L right now are just highlighting what things we believe should be included in the transition of care composition. So these things are data elements and data samples that are being created currently. And then basically we're going to be taking those all together and bundling them so that they can be transmitted. There's some nuance to how that happens and some concerns about too deep of referencing. So some things might be pulled directly forward into the transition of care composition, or some things might just be a reference, like a document reference where you say the information is in this report over here. So that's kind of some of the stuff that we're working on. I think you might be down too far. I can't
Too
see
far? Okay, sorry.
There they are. The things that
Okay.
are called by Betsy Smith Johnson, TOC, the transition of care from hospital to SNF. So those sorts of call outs are what we're focused on. I think next week we'll be able to share a more complete view of that in a more concise way, so that you don't have to try and dig into this big spreadsheet. I'll pull together a summary after we've kind of gone through this once and had all of our clinicians take a look at, or the clinicians that are participating in Connectathon take a look at it and share this back with y'all.
And this cover page contains all the information regarding the Connect Zone. Is the track page, and also the Confluence page, and the endpoints we're using, the IG we're testing. So it's all in one place. It's a lot of work from the team.
Uba, did you have anything else you wanted to highlight or ask about at this time?
Not right now. Thank you.
All right. I think that covers it for what we needed today.
All right. Thank you very much, James. Any questions, any go backs to the previous topics we discussed from anybody? All right, here or none. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you all for contributing the inputs, share your insights with us. If you have any questions or need any additional information, feel free to reach out. And we look forward to seeing you all in our next meeting. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.